Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is May 6th, 2024, and we are talking new knives, and we have a ton of new stuff to talk about. First on the table, we have some new Spyderco arrivals. These ones are flying off the shelf fast, this one specifically. This is the Spymoo. So every once in a while, Spyderco will do a collaboration with Lion Steel, where they will take a Lion Steel model and spiderize it a little bit, is I think how Eric Glesser put it. So this one has the thumb hole opener as well as that removable flipper, which is a hallmark of Lion Steels, because in a lot of places in Europe, you can't have a flipper. But if you're in America like us, you still have the option. Very nice indeed. M398 blade. M398 apparently is noticeably different from M390. I don't know that I'm qualified to comment exactly how, but it is cool that it's here. Got a micarta handle, titanium on the back, and a deep carry pocket clip with the Spyderco logo here, but also Lion Steel up here on the blade. A great collaboration between two of my favorite knife companies. Love to see it. These are going for $231, and if they aren't sold out already, I will recommend jumping there soon because they might be sold out. Next up from Spyderco, we have the Paramilitary 2, but this one has the Spy 27 blade steel. So that's a Crucible exclusive they have. And my understanding is it is similar to S35VN. However, because of a little bit of vanadium replaced with niobium and nitrogen, it's going to lose some wear resistance in exchange for increased corrosion resistance and a very fine structure. So if you are a sharpening nerd, I would check out Spy 27 because that fine blade grain is going to make stupid sharp edges. And Spyderco's already come so sharp. So this is a sharpener's dream right here. Got a cobalt blue G10 handle. These are going for $217.50. Now's a good time to mention the campaign we have with Spyderco. So if you get either of these knives or a myriad of others, or spend $169 or more in a Spyderco purchase, you'll get this shop mat for free. It's a nice latexy rubber thing, so if you get oil or stuff on it, you can just rinse it off. Has little pockets up here so you can keep screws and tools. These are really nice. I have one of them on my desk at all times because knives are always coming across my desk. This thing, game changer. Mine, I want to say, is actually branded Benchmade and it's blue. But this one's the Spyderco one, black with the red lettering. Very nice indeed. Get those for a limited time while supplies last. Next up from Prometheus Design Works, we have the SPD UFO. This is an OTF, and I gotta say, I like it. It's really slim. So OTFs sometimes get a little beefy, or they get super thin or whatever. This one is off the beaten path. I personally like the beefy and thin ones, like beefy and narrow, sort of like this guy we're going to talk about in a bit. But the broader and flatter ones, I think, are fun, and we don't see them quite as often, and I really do appreciate it. This one, I gotta say, I am intrigued by it. So most of the time with OTFs, they tend to wax tactical. Like, we'll pull out this Heretic we're going to talk about in a minute. Here we have a really heavily gemmed slide, we have a full metal frame, and we have a glass breaker on the back. Feels tactical. This one, we have G10 on the front, no glass breaker, but a generous lanyard hole, a rolling ball pocket clip, a single-edged blade with the front slide actuator. This one feels EDC to me. I'm sure it could be squeezed into tactical rolls as well, but I like it. And I like that it's trying to be different. Sometimes, especially with OTFs, it's like there's a bar that's been set that everybody's trying to reach, but I like that Prometheus Design Works is trying to walk their own new path. Very nice indeed. These are going for $289 plus, and I'd get them while they're here because I don't know how long they will be. Next up, from Knives, we have a new limited edition Exiton. So this is a knife that we've seen before. Last year it was released. I picked up one with a carbon fiber back strap, and it was a limited edition. And that is true. Every knife that you get, it comes serialized as a limited edition part. However, I like that has been taking those popular limited editions and bringing them kind of back. So all the things that you have that were limited, that is true. They did not do another run of the knife you have. However, they do dress it up a little bit differently for a new limited edition. And this one has this sort of gunmetal gray on the M390 blade or 20CV. They're equivalents, and we uses both, and I can never remember which one they're using. But instead of the carbon fiber back strap, this one's got a milled titanium one. Gives it quite a bit of back weight, so it's gonna be it wants to stay in your hand a little bit more. You don't necessarily have to choke up if you want it, but very nice. And look at this action. It just drops. So good. Very nicely done Knives. These are going for $374. Next up, that Heretic we've been hinting at is the new Nicks. So we made the joke of how about them Knicks for all you New Yorkers. But I'm pretty sure this knife is illegal in New York City, so in your face, Peter. But this is a really cool one. This is a new model that is coming out. This particular one is the prototype. You can see it's serial number 13. This one goes for a lot of money. It's $11.20. However, the production model Nicks that is coming soon, we're not exactly sure on pricing yet, but Heretic is committed to keeping this at 300 or below. So it's going to be a USA made, very well done knife that just feels good and launches like every Heretic does. Man, I will tell you, they know how to make an OTF there. And my buddy Jacob, he actually was on our knife debate a few weeks ago. He's a huge OTF nerd, and he loves Heretic for these slides. You kind of get the podium-ish jimping up the sides, and then on the top, a really coarse knurling. So that way, you can put your thumb on the top of the slide to run it. You don't necessarily have to be up here to wedge it. So it makes it extra fidgety. My hands are a little bit sweaty from being under lights and whatnot, so I'm having a hard time with it. But very nicely done Heretic knives. I'm excited to see these. Next up, we have a new exclusive from the James brand. We have the Chapter 2. So the original Chapter was a long time ago. It had a D2 blade, a tip down carry pocket clip, and it was called the Chapter because it was like the James brand's new chapter. So the James brand is an interesting team that is conglomerated of people from a million different industries in the outdoor world. And they came together and started a new chapter when they made the James brand. And aside from the Chapter, every James brand knife is named after an arrowhead pattern. However, the Chapter is special. And now we have Chapter 2, which is taking everything they've learned over the last many years of creating knives and pouring it into this. We have a CPM S35 VN blade, a beautiful flush inlay. It reminds me of the inlays you find on the Barnes, which are incredible. Probably the best inlays I felt. And then titanium frame lock and now a tip up pocket clip. And this one's special because it's got the James brand arrowhead as well as the Blade HQ shield. Very happy to have this one here at BladeHQ.com. I'm enjoying playing with this thing. It just feels good. They've done good work, and I'm very pleased with what they have here, and I'm proud of what the James brand has accomplished in the years since their creation. Those ones are going for $329. Next up from Civivi, we have the new Primatrox. These ones are dropping soon. Right now they're pre-order, and this thing, like what a clean design. And what I was most intrigued with in this is its blade to handle ratio. So one of the big trade-offs of a folder, and somebody was talking earlier about folders versus fixed blades, is fixed blades can have any length of blade they want. However, folders have to fit that blade inside a handle, and only a select few can maximize that number. And this is one. I don't know how, but like it just feels like you have a lot of blade for the amount of handle you have. Like I don't have a whole ton to lay off of, but like that's a full 3.5-inch blade. You can do a lot of work with that, and you can choke up here if you need a little more control. WE Knives, very well done, and I love the price on this, $52.25. A great budget-friendly knife, and this one has a Nitro V blade. I love that WE's been going towards that as well. I love D2, but I really do like a little bit of extra stainlessness in my life. And then lastly, we have the Elementum Utility. These start at $42.50. And this one has some special things going on. I know what y'all are thinking. This is just a Civivi Elementum that has a utility blade in it. There are some other things going on. First of all, this is the first Elementum to feature a thumb stud. Most Elementums have a flipper. The others will have like the button locks, the originals. Those are like gravity knives almost. You have to flick them out. But this one, you have a thumb stud. Also, this is the first Elementum to not have liners. None at all. This thing is just riding on those aluminum. Keeps it nice and light. Very well done. Also, this is the first Elementum, like we mentioned earlier, to have a utility blade. And I've seen a lot of utility blades in my day, and oftentimes they'll have some contrived mechanism that will make it a tool-free takedown. I personally prefer to have a tool involved because I always have a Torx bit in my bag. It's not hard, but if I truly screw this blade down, it is locked in there. It's not going anywhere. There's no play at all. It feels like I'm cutting with an actual blade. And then you just pop this off and you can change your blade out. Also, utility knives will try and cut down the middle, so you just have the front here, and that will make it so you can use the blade twice. However, I like that on the Elementum utility here, we have almost the full length of the blade to work with here. It feels like a knife. It doesn't feel like a utility blade. So if you love Elementums, but you don't like sharpening, or you travel and you want to stop at a gas station and grab a couple of these, this will be a great thing. Also, it's a new size. This one is kind of like a 3.5 finger grip for me. If you have smaller hands, it might be a little bit more. Although they also put this little ledge here so you can choke up if you need to. Man, they did a really good job with this knife. The more I think about it, the more I like it. The last feature I'll talk about is this pocket clip. This has the recessed cruise and recessed clip face itself, so it's going to be easy in and out of your pocket. For $42.50! Man, Spyderco is killing it this year. Anyway, don't forget about that Spyderco promo we mentioned at the beginning of the video. You can find all of these knives and more at bladehq.com. We will be back this Friday with a video all about sub $50 knives. And do not forget about our grand opening on Saturday, May 11th. Here at our Blade HQ headquarters in our storefront in Pleasant Grove, Utah, we are having a huge party. We're doing giveaways, we're playing Jeopardy. Brush up on your knife trivia. I think I'm going to stump a bunch of you. We got games to play. We're doing bottle cuts. We have a big knife gauntlet of knife cutting challenges. It's going to be a huge knife party, and you should come. We're excited to see you there. And with that, we'll see y'all next time.